So I'm seeing that a bunch of people are complaining about the Pokemon Center drop that happened on Tuesday. So for anybody, real quick, let's quick recap. Anybody who's not aware, Pokemon dropped the Victini box as well as the black and white text sticker collections full, and then that was it was a little bit later in the afternoon for that, and then after that, which a lot of people struggled to be able to get that in the first place. Like it sold out within like 5 minutes or so, and then they went ahead and dropped bundles, and it was like the Prismatic Super Premium Collection with, I think it was like a pin and a couple other miscellaneous items. And then they also dropped the Heat TV, and it had some random stuff with it too. And then they also went ahead and dropped the bundles with some random stuff. I'll put some photos up. And that sold out. Like very few people, from what I can see, were able to actually get their hands on it. And it sold out within like 5 or 10 minutes also. Now, there's a couple of things that got me thinking about it. They obviously didn't have the queue up. What a lot of people aren't talking about, from what I've been seeing, is for like the Victini and the black and white products, they did set up the like bot prevention, where you had to like fill in a puzzle piece or do whatever, with the typical stuff that we've become accustomed to with the Pokemon Center drops. Whenever they've dropped product in the past, the CAPTCHA, where you've got to fill in a puzzle piece or something like that. Now, what they didn't do for any of the prismatic is they did not have that. They had the queue system. As far as from what I can tell, and from my own personal experience, they did not have any sort of like bot prevention or, the CAPTCHA or anything like that we're used to. So, yes, I understand people's frustrations and their ballot, because it's two things. One, the product sold out super quick for everything. It's not even like you can get the black and white stuff, and then, the prismatic, it sold out super quick. And it all together was bad. But I think, and then the other thing, before I get to my point, the other thing that people were complaining about is, like, I'm not going to pay, so like this premium inflection, it retails for like $90, or MSRP is like $90. They had it for, I think it was like $160, with everything all together. ETBs, they had that for like $90, so an additional $30 compared to what it normally is. And then the bundles were like, I think they were like $50 or $60. And so a lot of people's complaint is, I'm not going to pay extra $60 for random stuff that I don't really want it. And to be honest, and I think anyone who tells you different is lying. A lot of 99.9% of the people who want these products, they don't want. They only are wanting the product. They're not wanting anything else, not wanting to pay anything else for it, But what I think that Pokemon is actually doing is the reason that they didn't set up any sort of bot prevention for the prismatic drops is it was above MSRP. And so if you look at the ETB was like $80 or $90. While you look upon the secondary market, TCG player, eBay, ETBs are going for like $100. So, and then the super premium collection, it was going for like $160 after taxes. Of course, you have the free shipping. While on secondary market, TCG player, it's going for like $200, $212. So by the time that someone gets the product, sells it, they have to pay for shipping, they got to pay the seller fee, whether it's eBay or TCG player, which is roughly about 13%. By the time all that's said and done, we're looking at about secondary market price. And the worst part is then you're stuck as far as scalping, if you're a scalper or someone who's trying to take advantage of the situation, Pokemon situation, then you're stuck. So let's say you have a bot. That bot was able to buy 30 of the Supreme collections, hypothetically speaking. Well, you're not going to make any money. You're going to break even. You might make like $12 if it was a Supreme collection, right? Or whatever. You might make like $12. But then you're stuck with however many mugs and pins and plushies or whatever came with all of these extra things. So I think that's what Pokemon's doing, is they're aware of the situation, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but I think what they're doing is they're raising up prices, burning people, giving them a bunch of random crap like distros do that nobody wants, nobody's going to buy, can't get rid of it. And I think that that's the play that they're doing. So, yeah, it's not an ideal situation. It's not, obviously we would like to get it for MSRP, but at the same time, if this is just kind of a short-term issue that we're dealing with where, we're dealing with, Pokemon throwing in a bunch of random stuff, it's super hard to get. The bots are getting it. They're going to leave sooner than later, then we'll be able to go back to normal. So Pokemon knows what they're doing. Be patient. But that's kind of what I think is going on with it. And that's what I think the whole situation was. So appreciate you guys. See you on the next one.